Wild Pink, A Billion Little Lights album review. Let's go. Hey guys, John here from What's Spinning. Hope everybody's doing well. We're here tonight to chat about this new Wild Pink album. They are a Brooklyn-based band, and I got hip to their sound a little bit around the time of their self-titled album. I thought it was pretty decent. Mostly because I thought the performances, more often than not, were super passionate. But there were also a lot of really odd moments on here. I wasn't too keen on the lo-fi production either. However, they turned around pretty quickly with 2018's Yoke in the Fur. This was a gloriously textured, heartfelt Americana and heartland rock album. It was just so vast and colorful and passionate. I can almost see fans of the War on Drugs being super into this, but just from all the deep cuts and great singles like There's a Ledger and Lake Erie, this actually ended up being one of my late album of the year candidates. Now, I was genuinely curious going into this album because I liked most of the singles. And honestly, I still think Wild Pink have a lot to offer in these genres. This album starts off with a very short "The Wind Was Like a Train," and honestly, it's a little bit more of a stiff intro than I expected. And by that, I mean their last album was just so fluid and gorgeous and heavenly at times. But this is not nearly as vast sounding, and there's also a lot more synths involved. But I still think it has a lot of beauty to it, it's very charming, and as an intro, I think it works. The Shining but Tropical, I think, is the best track here, by far actually. This track I have nothing bad to say about. This track from start to finish is absolutely gorgeous. It just has this big, gigantic, this is the meaning of life sound to it that, God, just warms my heart. The pacing is great, it progresses nicely. I just can't be in a bad mood listening to this. And I really love the production here as well. I also really love Overshare's Anonymous. I think this track is just so joyful and sweet. It's got this big, beautiful, sunny energy. Plus, it's super quaint. It has this true blue indie rock tune to it that I just think is really likable. I also really love the string section on this track. It just really, once again, warms my heart, makes me feel good. And I have a lot of the same things to say about You Can Have It Back. This is pound for pound the most little quaint, little cute track on here, and it's one that took me a while to warm up to. But there's a simplicity to this track that's honestly really admirable. It's just a really feel-good jam once again, and it's very catchy. But I don't know about you guys, but did anybody else really thought this was going to be a lot bigger of an album? Just much more grandiose. Bigger Than Christmas is a real misfire in my book. Now, let's get this out into the open. Atmosphere-wise, this track is gorgeous, but there's just no progression in sight. It sounds nice from a distance, but that's about it. I don't think this is a complete wash either. I think some of the vocals are pretty charming. I don't know. I just think it's a little cheap sounding for me. And for me, Amalfi is, honestly, I think the worst track here. I feel like Wild Pink on this album can't stick the landing. There's major continuity errors. This is one of the most vanilla tracks here. Once again, from a distance, this is certainly pleasant on the ears. But it's just way too light to the point where nothing about this actually sticks with me. Not really that captivated to come back to this ever. It's very plain. A lot of the same feelings on track Mud. Like, this track is so laid on the ears, which isn't a bad thing, but nothing sticks. And the rest of this album is maybe not terrible, but very middle of the road. Family Friends is a nice switch up for the band. It's upbeat, it's jangly, it's super fun, and I do really like the production here, and I love those big 80s synths. Could have used more of that, guys. But I don't know, it's just very, very, very plain. Like, I feel like this track could have been taken so much deeper. However, it has grown on me a lot. It's not a bad track. Pacific City, however, is one of the best tracks here and a major reason why I wanted to review this. It's super fluffy and it's light on the ears and, God, so catchy. And for a few short minutes, I really remember and begin to re-feel everything I felt about their last album. I could just put this on, just feel good and drift away. And once again, those synths and those horns are all things I wish I heard more of here. Die Outside is a finale that I'm very torn on. It's absolutely gorgeous for one, and the very colorful atmosphere, right on. When that chorus rolls around, I don't know about you, but I think it's one of the most memorable here. I just think these verses are such a slog and a bore that I can't give this a check plus. So, after hearing their last album, Yoke and the Fur, I was expecting to have found my new favorite indie obsession. That's not the case with this new album. There are certainly a handful, a chunk of tracks here that are super likable, very airy, gorgeous even, and you know what? Some of the more synth-heavy tunes here aren't that bad either, but I feel like this is all just very safe for a band that on their last album produced this vast, heartfelt, heartland rock album. I don't know, I just expected this to be a whole lot bigger and a whole lot bolder, but that's just me. This certainly isn't a complete wash. I'm feeling a strong 6 on this album, but let me know what you guys think down below. If you liked the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and let me know down below what you would like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, guys.